The single most expensive way to own a car is to buy a brand new one, and it's the option almost everyone picks. Here's the part the dealership will never say out loud. The moment you drive a new car off the lot, it isn't worth what you paid anymore. It just lost about a fifth of its value in the time it took to pull into traffic, and you paid for that. By the end of this video, you'll know one number, just one, that tells you the cheapest way to put a car in your driveway, and the $14,000 mistake hiding inside one tiny word, new. So everybody frames this as a two-way fight, lease or buy, and that's the first trap, because it's actually a three-way fight, and the third option is the one that quietly wins. Lease a new car, buy a new car, or buy a used one, 3 doors, and almost everybody argues about the first two while ignoring the third. But here's the thing, none of these doors are really about the sticker price. They're all about one invisible force that's eating your money the entire time you own the car, a force most people never even put on the table. It's called depreciation, and it is by far the biggest cost of owning almost any car, bigger than gas, bigger than insurance, usually bigger than repairs. If you don't understand this one monster, every car decision you make is basically a guess, so let's shine a light on it. Depreciation is just a fancy word for how fast your car loses value, and cars lose value on a very predictable curve. The problem is, the curve is steepest right at the beginning. A typical new car loses around 20% of its value in the first year alone, about 40% by year 3, and roughly 60% by year 5. Read that again. In 5 years, more than half your money, gone, not spent on gas, not spent on repairs, just evaporated. And here's the key insight the whole video hangs on. The steep part of that curve, the cliff at the very beginning, that's the part the first owner pays for. If you buy the car new, you're standing on the cliff. If you let someone else take the first few years, you're standing on the gentle, flat part of the slope, where the car barely loses value anymore. Same car, wildly different cost. The only difference is when you got in. Okay, let's talk about leasing, because it feels amazing and the math is sneaky. When you lease, your monthly payment looks low, lower than buying, and you get a shiny new car every few years. What's not to love? Here's what's not to love. When you lease, you are paying for the most expensive years of the car's life, that steep part of the cliff, and then you hand the car back and start all over again. You're not chipping away at owning anything. You are renting the depreciation, forever. A leaser doesn't have a car payment for a few years. A leaser has a car payment for the rest of their life. It never ends because you never actually own the thing. Now, to be fair, leasing isn't evil. If you own a business and you're writing the car off, or you genuinely need the newest model every 3 years for work, leasing can have a place. But for a normal person trying to keep more of their money, leasing is the most expensive door in the room. Let's keep going. So what about buying new with a loan and actually keeping it? Good news, this is genuinely better than leasing, because eventually you stop paying, you own the car, and every year after that, you're driving for basically the cost of gas and maintenance. The catch, you still ate the cliff. You still paid full price for the steepest, most brutal years of depreciation. You did the expensive part, you just got to keep the car afterward. If you're going to buy new, at least do it sanely. There's a classic rule, 20% down, a loan no longer than 4 years, and total car costs under 10% of your take-home pay. If the only way you can afford the car is a 7-year loan, the car is telling you something. You can't actually afford that car. Now the door nobody fights about. Buying a gently used car, 2 to 3 years old, and driving it into the ground. This is, for most people, the quiet winner, and here's exactly why. Picture the exact same car. Brand new, it's $35,000. That same car, 3 years old with maybe 30,000 miles on it, about $21,000. It's the same car. Same seats, same engine, same everything. But it costs $14,000 less. There it is, that's your $14,000 mistake. When you buy new instead of 2 or 3 years used, you are voluntarily paying 14 grand for depreciation that the first owner already swallowed for you. You're paying extra to stand on the cliff. And remember, if Anna takes that 14,000 she didn't spend and invests it, now the gap isn't 14,000. Give it a decade or two, and the real cost of choosing new is way, way bigger. So here's the napkin number, the one thing to take from this whole video. Stop looking at the monthly payment. The monthly payment is how you're sold a car. Look instead at your cost to own per year. Take what you pay for the car, subtract what you'll be able to sell it for later. That gap, that's your depreciation, your real cost. Divide it by the number of years you keep the car. Add in gas, insurance, and repairs. That number, your true cost per year, is the only honest way to compare any two cars. And almost every single time you run it, the same answer falls out. The cheapest way to drive is to buy a boring, reliable 2 to 3 year old car, and then keep it for 8, 10, 12 years. Let someone else pay for the cliff. You cruise on the flat part. It is not glamorous. Nobody's going to compliment you at a red light, but your bank account will. Now, honest math means showing the other side. 3 traps. Trap 1, don't go too cheap. A $2,000 beater that breaks down every month isn't a deal, it's a slow leak. The sweet spot is a reliable car a few years old, not the oldest junker on the lot. Trap 2, the loan can quietly undo everything. A used car with a sky-high interest rate can cost more than a new car with a cheap one. So run the total number, price plus interest, not just the sticker. Trap 3, this only works if you actually keep the car. Buy a used car and flip it after 2 years, and you just put yourself on a mini cliff. The magic comes from holding on. And yes, sometimes buying new is fine. If you keep cars for a decade anyway, want the warranty and the latest safety tech, and you buy it sanely, that's a real, defensible choice. Just make it on purpose, not because a shiny showroom told you to. So here's the truth nobody at the dealership will tell you. This was never really about lease versus buy. It's about a payment treadmill versus an exit. A car is not an investment, it's an expense that rolls. The only question that matters is, how cheaply can you cover that expense so the rest of your money can go somewhere that actually grows? That's the whole game. So tonight, do the 30-second version. Take a car you're eyeing, find what it costs new, then look up what the 2 to 3 year old version sells for. That gap, that's what new is really charging you. You might never buy new again. We do one of these money forks every week. Same napkin, new decision. Next time, we settle the big one. Should you pay off debt or invest? If that's the kind of math you want to get good at, you know where to find it. Run your numbers. I'll see you at the next fork.